Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nanshi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I am a man and I am a businessman, and I have come here. I just need advice, and I also want to give advice to other people that might be stuck in life, not knowing where they are headed to, thinking that the poverty that they have, it is like the end of the world. If you are just poor and you are not a ritualist, that is not the end of the world. At least you can go to bed and you can fall fast asleep without thinking about some of the things that might be happening to you spiritually. Unlike some of us, when I go to bed, I know that it is time for me to start suffering. Spiritually, I do suffer quite a lot. It is not an easy thing to be beaten by a Tokoloshe almost each and every day. There is this other shambok that we have in our country that we call Muswewe Mvu, or the hippo's tail. It is very painful. That is the shambok that the Tokoloshe uses each and every time when it beats me up, telling me that it wants me to give it a wife. And as for me, if I could have given this Tokoloshe a wife a very long time ago, because I am tired of getting beaten each and every day. But the challenge that I am facing is that I try to give it the wife that it wants, and if I try to do what this Tokoloshe wants me to do, I'll end up being locked up, because the ritual, it is illegal and it is not moral. So I cannot do something like that. So each and every time when it comes to me, it says, you are refusing to give me a wife. Therefore, I am going to punish you until you give me a wife that I want, because I have been assisting you in your businesses for a very long time. So I need help, and I also want to warn other people. There was a time when life was okay, and during those days, I could do whatever that I wanted because I had a good business. I got married to my wife, and as for my wife, she grew up in a wealthy home and her parents were rich, and she got married to me, and I was giving her a very comfortable life. And then that was when my businesses started collapsing. I was bewitched by someone in the family. As my businesses was collapsing, the disadvantage of getting married to a woman who was born in a rich family, she does not understand that things can go bad sometimes. She just filed for divorce and she walked away. As for now, she is overseas with my kids. My marriage fell apart and I did not know what else to do. That was when I met Sekuru Buru, the man who helped me. He was a powerful nganga, a traditional healer from Wedzam, who used to help people, those that want to become ritualists. So what he will do is that when you would go to him, he would rent out a Tokoloshe to you, and then you will have to bring back that Tokoloshe after your businesses would have stabilized. I went there, and then this man told me that he wanted 15,000 US dollars and he wanted a goat as well as a chicken, and we were going to do the rituals. I returned back home, and then I sold 2 of my vehicles and I went back to him. He then told me that I was supposed to bring some sanitary pads, and it was quite hard. I then started communicating with one of my ex-girlfriends. She was even surprised, and I told her that I wanted her back and I was feeling lonely. She was also feeling lonely, and then she came to me, and then we started sleeping with each other. There was a day when she came to my place, and then she told me that even though I had forced her to come to her place, but she was on her period, and I said it does not matter. We then went to bed. So she had refreshed, and she threw the sanitary pad in a small plastic bag and she put it in the refuse bin. Early in the morning, I woke up when she was still fast asleep. Then I started cleaning and I prepared breakfast for her. I gave her breakfast in bed. She was so excited and she said that I was very romantic, but she did not know that I was doing all of these things simply because I did not want her to find out that I had stolen a sanitary pad. She then left and she returned back to her husband. I then called the traditional healer there in Weza, and then he told me to bring the sanitary pad that was full of blood. I went to Weza, and then the man gave me some water to drink, and this water, it was very bitter to taste. As for the sanitary pad, I put it in a wooden plate and he took it somewhere else, and he told me that I was going to become very rich. I recovered all of my businesses. Yes, there are people out there who thinks that having a car, it is better than not having anything. When I was rich, I used to own several Mercedes Benz. Those were the vehicles that I loved, those that are expensive to maintain. And I had gotten so broke so much that I was using a Honda Fit. To other people, owning a Honda, it's like at least you have a car, it is better. But to me, I'll just see someone that owns a Honda as if you have a bicycle, and I was really broke. I then recovered the vehicles that I had lost, and then I moved back into my townhouse, which is in Boratal. And then I went on a vacation where I met this other Tanzanian woman, and I fell in love with her, but she was very jealous. I then returned back to Zim. She would call me, but when she called me and I was unable to answer her because I had too much stress. When I returned back home, that was when I had on the news, it was not the news as such, but it was a program. The sons of the traditional healer, they went to a radio station that is called Radio Zimbabwe. They went to Star FM, and they then made an announcement, and they said that they had been sent by their father, and the message that they wanted to give to the people of Zimbabwe, to anyone who had ever visited their father's shrine. They said, anyone that was given a lucky charm bottle by our father, please return it immediately. To anyone that ever rented out a spirit or a Tokoloshe must return it immediately. And they kept on repeating that message that they had been sent by their sick father. Brother Nashi, I wanted to return back to Sekuru Buru's shrine so that I can return back the Tokoloshe that had been given to me, since I had not been given this Tokoloshe on a permanent basis. And this Tokoloshe, since it was for rental, it did not require blood. So I was just making money. And then that was when the woman that I had met there in Zanzibar started calling me over and over again. Hey, you were cheating on me. You have a wife there in your country. Why you do not want to talk with me on the phone? She was very beautiful. And I then thought about her. I started looking at her pictures and I said, God, I cannot let this woman go. So I booked a flight and I returned back to Zanzibar and I went with her on a vacation. I did not communicate with the traditional healer's sons as they were communicating with me on WhatsApp. I was blue ticking them when they said that you need to return back this Tokoloshe because it has to come back to the shrine so that we can fix everything that have gone wrong. Bring it back because you did not take it on a permanent basis. I ignored the message. I went to Zanzibar and I enjoyed with the woman that I loved a lot, and I returned back to Zim. Life continued as normal, and then I started to see that Tokoloshe in the dream, it would come to me and it will tell me that it does not want me to return it back to the traditional healer's shrine. It wanted to work with me even more. And then that was when it offered me a deal, and it said, if you can give me blood, I'll keep on making money for you. It instructed me to go and look out for a black chicken. I went and I bought a black chicken and I came and I sacrificed the chicken. It drank the blood and it instructed me to eat the chicken without being cooked, and I could not eat everything, and it told me to leave everything outside. When I returned back, I then found out that the chicken had been eaten and life continued. It then came back to me and it told me that it wanted me to give it a wife, and I said, I can't give you a wife because of the age. It does not want a woman that is above 18, in which I cannot do something like that. And when I told this Tokoloshe that it is impossible and it is illegal to do such a thing, because it was telling me that even one that has been recently been born, even a child that is 1 day old, that is what it wants. And I said, you can never do such a thing. It is not allowed. I will end up being in prison. It started beating me up with that shambok. So last month, that was when I said, I can't do it. I can't take it anymore. I went back to Wedza last month. I went to Sekuru Buru's shrine, but it is being run by his sons. I have begged them to take the Tokoloshe, but when they reviewed, they saw that I gave blood to this Tokoloshe, and they said that they can't take it back, and I have to give it whatever that it wants. And I can't give it a child that is a day old. I cannot do it. I do not want to get arrested. So I am asking for help. I just want to tell other people, please never make that mistake. A traditional healer will tell you whatever that you want to hear because he just wants money from you. They will promise you things that will end up messing your life. Even if you are poor, look for something else that can help you in life. Do not do blood rituals. I am regretting. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our rather strange things indeed they do happen in this world.